Actually, another question to a little tangent on the original subject, but um, the programs to pay off your student loans, right? So there was a pretty big discussion on DentalTown. Jill, if you can just share the spreadsheet that somebody posted that their $499,000 was paid off by some, I think it's called PSLF. I don't know if you know that. I wonder if you guys can touch on, and Jill, if you can make it a little bit bigger, like 200%, and then that we can read that. Yep, and then scroll to that point. So basically, the conversation was 499,000 forgiven. Never thought I would see this day. After 10 years, I finally qualified and received public service loan forgiveness for the remaining balance of my dental school student loan. Because of the ridiculous fixed interest rate of 8%, the balance has ballooned to 499 once since I graduated. To anyone else following the PSLF path, hang in there. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, I'm jaded because ballooning to 499, I'm like, dude, we all came out with that, so I have no sympathy. um, it's interesting because at the places that you can work to qualify for that, you tend to make a lot less. And the people that I know that have tried that sort of thing, you're doing very, very basic dentistry. So for 10 years, you're doing amalgam fillings, extractions, maybe dentures. So your earning potential is lower. You're certainly saving, in this case, $499,000. But if you were perhaps working at Aaron's office, you might be able to make $400,000 a year. And so if you knew what you were doing when you went in, you could plan for that sort of stuff. And I would bet that if paying off your loans was your goal, you could do it in a lot less than 10 years by just
What do
getting
you mean
better
by
at
that? What
dentistry, doing
example?
more of it. And then, hmm?
Yeah, can you elaborate on that?
If I came out of school and I was presented the options, you're going to make 120 grand a year at this place. You're not really going to do much dentistry, but after 10 years of doing that, your loans are going to be forgiven. Or your other option is get out, learn a bunch of shit, hustle your ass off. You can pay your loans back in 5 years, and you'll also be earning a lot more. I could make an educated decision, but I think if it's just like the focus is to have somebody else pay off your student loans, what has that done for your life and for your life plan? And I'm not saying it's bad. Some people have a lot of passion for helping. Some of those will be on like Indian reservations, or it'll be out in Alaska or something like that. Some of them are just you can look it up. It's like circles based on income in certain cities where the income is really low, and so you have to work in that area. It tends to be Medicaid dentistry. So some people are very passionate about that. That's awesome.
Hmm.
So I have to laugh a little bit. I grew up in Southern Colorado, and we got a lot of our doctors from debt forgiveness programs and dentists. So so there are like you said, I think it goes back to there's something for everyone, right? And so I think that there are people who want to serve those communities, and I am grateful for those people as I got dental work done. But I think it just goes back to one. I think you're right, Brian. You have to understand the big picture, and if the goal is to give your time and serve an underserved community, and that's what motivates you, and then this is a cherry on top, fantastic. If the goal is just to forgive student loan debt, that's probably not going to make you a great dentist anyway, or physician provider anyway, because you're going to be bitter about the type of work you're doing. So maybe that's not the only thing you should be focusing on. But it's just, as you're talking about that, you're like, oh, rural communities. I'm like, oh, that was where I grew up.
Yeah, you got the benefit of it. That's awesome.
So,
That's
so
a
as I'm
good point of view.
as I look this up, it says that you need to work. You need to make 120 eligible payments toward a direct loan on any income-driven repayment plan, and work full time for 10 years in any U.S. federal, state, local, tribal government, or nonprofit organization. So you to me, it's like you stalled your career for 10 years. You know, you came out and you get no further for 10 years. And to me, that's a huge cost. And at the same time, in the back of my head, I have a friend who came out of dental school and she loves working with children, and she works in a Medicaid office and has been doing kids for 5 years now. But it's kind of like, but she loves that. She doesn't want to do the other stuff. So, you know, to your point, Brian, if you really love that, like that could be a good thing. For me, that would be death. It's like, just shoot me now and let me get it over with, because that's going to kill me.
So you probably wouldn't be
Yeah,
doing
but
your best work with that attitude, would you, Aaron Nicholas?
Probably not. No, I agree
Right.
100%.
We're back.
I should
We're
go do
back to
something
the
else.
original. We're back to the original point that dentistry is probably the best profession. It's like you could really choose whatever the hell you want to do,
Mhm.
right? So like even
Yeah.
if you choose to your friend's example, then there's help for her to get her student loans to be written off, right? And she can
Yeah.
focus on what she likes to do. So that I think is pretty cool.
But
Anything
it's not the
else
reason
on
she
this?
did it. She did it because she likes doing this kind of work. She didn't do it to get her loan forgiven. So I
Right,
think
but
that
would
that's
she
a
have
bit
been
different.
like, what would the payoff look like on her loans had she not had, you know, I think that's a bonus.
Yeah.
Like it's something that should be, I guess, championed if you are doing that. And so you're not just like, well, I guess I'll just eat that $500,000 because this is what I love. Like, I think it's kind of cool that it's an option.
Mhm.
No,